my name is Fajriah Tri Wahyuni and I'm student of Pamulang University. So, what is clause? Clause is the main unit of grammatical. It consists of subject and predicate. As a function, clause have three types. The first is noun clause, the second one is adjective or relative clause, and the third is adverb clause. The simple example of clause, when she wakes up, the word she is a subject and the word wakes up is the verb or predicate. The first is compound sentences. Compound sentences, it consists of two or more clauses joined by the conjunction. In compound sentences, the thought of two or more independent clauses are associated with an equal level or importance. For example, she doesn't know where to share her feeling. The sentence she doesn't know is independent clause and where to share her feeling is dependent clause. Why? Because it's needed more information to make it clearly, to make the readers understood what is meant. And the word where is the subordinate conjunction of that sentences. In dependent clause, there are three types. The first is noun clause, the second is adjective or relative clause, and the third is adverb clause. What is noun clause? Noun clause is preceded by its own markers such as a question word like whether, what, if, that, and etc. This is a simple example of a noun clause. I agree with what she said. With what she said is a noun clause because it explains the verb of play clause. That namely is word agree. Adjective clause is commonly the sentence that acts to describe or provide more information about person or object, and it can be indicated by the presence of who, whose, which, and that. This is the simple example. Searching for a movie that interests me. That interests me is the clause because there is the word that and explain the noun of the word a movie. Of the main sentence, I'm searching for movie. And the last one is adverb clause. Adverb clause is described to even in one time. The commonly conjunction in adverb clause after, so that, when, and etc. Example of adverb clause. When I'm arrived at the office, I lost my purse. There are two even and one time, and there is the word when. The word when is the commonly conjunction that used in the adverb clause. What is complex sentence? Complex sentence is sentence that contains one main clause or independent clause. Complex sentences tend to be more effective than compound sentence because they show more specific relationship between the clauses in the sentence because of the subordinate conjunction, relative pronoun, question word, and if. Simple example of complex sentence. But in the months that followed our first meeting, I became ever more aware of a growing sense of guilt. The first sentence is dependent clause, and the second sentence is independent clause because comma is needed before independent clause. However, if the independent clause is located at the beginning of the sentence, the comma is not required. The second reason is the word but in a dependent sentence can be considered as an indicator that the sentence still needs additional information. Thank you and bye-bye!